Welcome, welcome. This is the Bird's Eye View. I'm the War Duck. I'm here with Mr. Krow and Harcase.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
And there's been a lot of movement on this Gabby Petito case, so we're going to see if we can't catch up a little bit, give a little bit of updates. So let's get over to the news desk here. All right, so information has been crazy. It's been moving a lot. So
there's been a lot of people coming in from the community as well, bringing in a lot of stuff too. It's been interesting.
Yeah, and that's part of this video is just getting eyes out there, people seeing this. In fact, we'll get to one that said that somebody mentioned to her that, hey, weren't you in this area? Go back through your footage, and she found some footage. So that's another thing. So we'll cover. So all right, but the first thing I want to do is the dash cam video from the cops about stopping them when they were on their trip. I forgot exactly. I think they were on their way to Wyoming is when this took place. I could be wrong.
I believe this is in Moab. This is when they were in Moab. Yeah.
All right, so here we go. And the reason I wanted to show this is I'll put the link in it. You can go and watch the whole thing. We're only going to show a few minutes, but I think this gives a very good insight into their relationship and what it's really like. Probably not all bells and whistles like it appeared to be in the beginning. So, all right, here we go.
What's going on? How come you're crying?
I'm sorry, we've just been fighting this morning.
I think it's really insightful of their relationship.
Camping got stuff, flies and stuff. I'm sorry I hit the bump there.
I was distracting him from driving. I'm sorry.
Can I get you to step out of the vehicle for me, man?
Yeah.
She just seems
Just
so
hang tight right there.
scatterbrained.
So-
do you mind if I take your keys and just put them on your hood?
So this cop is being very one-sided
Oh,
in
no,
favor
you're
of
fine.
her at this moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and close your door, okay?
I know the cop immediately thinks he hit her or he's beaten on her. I guarantee it. By the way this cop is acting.
SO229.
Which is not the case.
That was on the passenger seat, separated from the mail. Keys are on the hood. You want to tell me what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just some days I have really bad OCD, and I was just cleaning.
Like, what did she say? She feels like she has OCD or something like that?
She
or-
has really bad OCD.
I'm sorry that I'm so
Okay.
mean because sometimes I have OCD.
And she also suffers from anxiety.
Mean towards him. I'm just like, I guess.
And I think,
My
doesn't
guy
he
is
have
like,
it as well? Brian has it, not as
He
bad
has
as her.
something, yeah. I think
I'm
OCD
sorry if
also.
I'm in a bad mood. I just
Yeah.
really stressed. I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning.
What do you do for a living?
Like she can't keep her mind like focused. It's like I was doing this, I was doing this, I'm doing this.
That's
Oh,
my,
okay.
that's my
That's
job.
cool.
And I just quit my job to travel across the country.
She just rambles so much.
So she quit her job
I just have a lot of stuff.
to
So
travel
I've been
across the
doing
country and
my
start the
work
blog.
since I've been really stressed and he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it.
Have you guys seen the blog, by the way?
Always like,
I have not, no.
I've tried to go to it, but it keeps telling me that I need a password.
In the car before, and then
Why wouldn't he let you in the car? Because
told me
of your
I
OCD?
told me I needed to calm down. Yeah. But I'm
Interesting.
calm. I'm calm all the time, and it really stresses me
Yeah, you
out.
don't sound calm.
Yeah, I'm perfectly calm. I'm like, whoa, you're not calm.
Why don't we do this? Why don't I sit you down in the back seat of my car? You're not in any trouble, okay? I'm not going to be putting handcuffs on you.
Officer's trying to calm her down
I'm gonna get
himself,
the
you
air
know.
conditioning, let you take a breath, relax a little bit, and then I'll come back in.
She's really breathing heavy though.
That's okay?
Okay.
All right.
Definitely.
And she's struggling.
Yeah, she's definitely
Like I said, you're not in any
she's
trouble.
panicking. She's or
Just go ahead and
she's
take a seat.
stressed. Let me put it that way.
Now we'll watch a little bit more when they talk to him, and then we'll move on.
I have watched this video and it's very interesting to hear like what the cops then start talking to him about. I want to say it's quite a bit in.
Yeah, I just spoke to her. So, you want to do
Right?
me a favor? Let's go
Oh,
ahead
you
and
talked to
step out of
Gabrielle,
the
right?
vehicle,
Like,
alrighty?
no, I was just back here hanging out, dude. What the hell? Yeah, the fuck. That's so weird.
Come on over here. You're not in any trouble right now. So, tell me what's going on.
She just gets worked up sometimes, and I try and really distance myself from her. So like I locked the car and I walked away from her. What happened this morning is that she's trying to start up like her own little website blog and everything. So I give her time. And we really had a nice morning, if anything. But she just
See, but his stories match exactly what she was saying.
Well,
That she's started a blog. We're trying to do this. She's a little stressed.
She had her cell phone in her hand. That's why I was pushing her away. Because she wanted. I locked the keys so I could walk away. I said, let's just take a breather and let's not, go anywhere.
He actually did seem pretty calm.
And then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys for me, so I got in the way. I was just trying to. I know I shouldn't push, but I was
Lots
trying to push
of witnesses with him saying that he's calm.
okay, I'm going to pause it right here for a second. So if you listen to what he's saying, yes, their stories match, but everything is her fault.
Yeah.
Right? She's taking responsibility for her own actions. When his story transpires, it's her actions. I was just doing stuff because of her. She was trying to grab the keys. Really? Was that what she was trying to do? Because that seems, when you're driving, that seems like not a thing to do. Right?
Yeah.
And he later talks about she grabbed the steering wheel. That's why he hit the curb. She says she grabbed his arm. Right? So there is the slight disconnect. Is yes, it's the same story, but one is she's taking responsibility for herself, saying from her perspective. And he's blaming her from her perspective. That's the difference between the stories, even though they match up kind of for the most part.
Yeah.
Right?
For the most part, yeah, they match up.
Right. So we'll just play just a little bit more of this before I move on.
Your hand? Oh, you got a mark right here.
Oh, that's from a wire.
That's from a wire?
Yeah.
You want to tell me about hitting that curb?
Hitting the curb was her grabbing the wheel.
See, her grabbing the wheel.
Yeah. She said, I can't believe we're getting pulled over, and then she drove it.
What about the speed? Did she take over the...
No, I
over the pedal on you?
If I was going fast, I'm sorry. No, it's probably just the moment of like, I'm still shaking now. The adrenaline, seeing the lights flashing up, and then her gripping the wheel. So if I sped up, I'm sorry about that.
I'm curious of just how fast they're really going. He's like, I'm sorry I was going so fast. And he's like, yeah, it took a little bit to get up to you.
Okay, so that was the body cam. Go watch that whole thing. It gives some very good perspective of what their relationship is probably more realistically like. And watch it a few times. And like I said, break down what she says versus what he says. And look at how the stories, yes, they match and they coincide, but look at how she's blaming herself and he's blaming her. Right? It doesn't appear that he's aggressively blaming her, but he's making excuses that it's her fault, right? It's her fault that I was going too fast. It's her fault that I ran into the curb. She was doing this, she was doing that. She's like, "Oh, I was all the anxiety of him getting pulled over, and I grabbed his arm and he's like, "Oh, she's reaching for the keys." It's like she doesn't say anything about reaching for the keys or anything like that. So it's interesting. I don't know which one's true. She may have grabbed the wheel, right? But generally, because she's already blaming herself, she's unlikely, in my opinion, to under-exaggerate her actions because she's already blaming herself, right? If you're blaming yourself and taking responsibility, you're going to be saying, yeah, I was grabbing the wheel because he was getting pulled over. I was nervous or something. Not I was grabbing his arm. Where he's on the other side going, oh, it's her fault. She was trying to grab the keys and she was doing this and she was doing that. And so I was just, I'm innocent. I was just reacting, right? He's deflecting. He's deflecting blame. She's accepting blame. And if you take that into account, who's generally going to over-exaggerate? It's going to be the person deflecting blame is the over-exaggerator, or somebody's flat going to lie. Versus the person that's actually accepting blame. Yeah, I was upset. I hit him. It's my fault. That person's unlikely to under-exaggerate what happened because she's already accepting the blame. So it's very interesting, and just watch it through and then go down and kind of break it up and look at the psychology of the person talking.
Yeah.
And the cop through this is it's very interesting also if you break down the cop, because he's already concluded that he hit her. Even after after she says no, I hit him.
Yeah.
He's still like, are you sure he didn't hit you? Are you sure? You know, you're like,
And
so
and there they get into it even more in the video where Brian breaks down though about it too, because they're like, look, we can take her away, we can lock her away because of what's happened. We have witnesses saying that she hit you, she was the instigator, and you didn't react. So it's pretty interesting. And you can see the gash under his eye a little bit.
Yeah, right up in here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a very interesting watch. And
the cop checks his hands because he wants to find evidence that he hit her. That's what he's doing. And he's like, oh, look, you got a mark there. It's from a wire. The cop's like, oh, are you sure? You sure it's from a wire? You didn't, like, it's like, okay. So
it's probably all the alarm bells are going off in the cop's head of like he's seeing everything. He's probably seen so many situations that have ended in that they're being like that. So he's probably just gone into instinct mode and being like, right, I'm going to check off all these things and really make sure it's not what I'm thinking.
It also shows the cop is he's already made up his mind what happened, and now he's trying to find the evidence to fit his story instead of just listening to find out what actually happened.
True. Yeah,
and
make a judgment call.
I give the cop a B-. He was very unconfrontational.
Yeah.
I thought, like, for that part, he did really well. He handled the individual well, but my problem with his predisposed notion of what already happened, instead of, hey, tell me what's going on, let me then make a decision. He was trying to fit evidence into something. Because if he had found any marks on that guy's knuckles at all, that guy would have been in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah. And if you listen to the video a little, when they start talking to Brian about it, they're like, look, this is it's like something like domestic or something like that. We have to put one away or something like that.
Now,
or split you
up. All right, we're gonna move on here. But this this story, that whole interaction right there leads me to my own conclusion of events is he didn't purposely murder her, like premeditated, grab a knife, grab a gun, premeditated, take her out and do something.
No.
But it does fit my conclusion of they were out and about, she got upset, he retaliated, and something catastrophic happened. Either she fell and hit her head or fell off a cliff or something that caused her severe enough injury that he panicked and left.
I agree. I think if you go back and look at our other video, I think it's panning out to what you and I were talking about. I think something has happened. And he panicked.
More information now is... All right, Mr. Krow, go ahead. Have you seen this at all?
I have. I've seen this one. It was where they got permission. I don't know the legal jargon into it, but yeah, they got permission. And the news crew saw two officers go into Brian's house, and
they arrived
I want to
at
say
6:20.
Yeah, and I want to say it was like 30 minutes later, one of them came out, and they're like, we don't know where he's at. And apparently now the Brian's, and I can't remember exactly when this happened, but Brian's parents, as of like Tuesday or so, or whenever this happened, said, "Oh, well, we haven't seen him since Tuesday. He's been missing. He's gone. We don't know where he's at."
Right. So
yeah, they've been covering up for him ever since he's come back. They nobody sees the parents go in and out. They're really even the neighbors.
Yeah, the neighbors said they haven't
talked
seen
to the neighbors.
them.
They've we've lived here for years and we've never seen them they're very quiet. They keep to themselves. And especially since he's been back, nobody has seen anything over there. They're we don't even know if they're home. We don't even know if they live there.
So now what's
quiet.
Super interesting about this, and here's my expert CSI opinion. You know, Law and Order, watch all them shows, so we're all experts in that kind of stuff. So,
Of
so
course,
this is
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened: is he to the cops? They say he's a person of interest,
Yes.
but I
yes.
think they have moved beyond that. I think they got a warrant. I think
agree.
that was the point of going in there to get him. Because even after that, this article says that they one returned inside about a minute later with what appeared to be an evidence envelope.
Yes.
So they went in, to my opinion, with a search warrant.
Intent. They went in with intent.
Yeah, to get a search warrant to enter the house to look for him, probably to arrest him or bring him in for questioning.
I think they wanted to bring him in for questioning. That's what I think.
And
I don't think the article says that.
And then they gathered evidence. Well, here's the thing: it's because he's missing. They haven't arrested him, right?
Correct.
And the moment that they say that a warrant's been issued for his arrest, or we're gonna arrest him, or anything like that, that changes everything. That changes everything. And for him, if you want him to show up and to come in, you're not gonna say, "Oh yeah, we're looking for you to arrest you," right? That's not what you're gonna do.
Correct.
So that's my expert Law and Order opinion. Is I think that they have moved past a person of interest, and that they're really actually probably going to arrest him, or at least bring him in for questioning.
I think definitely the number one is they want to bring him in for questioning. I mean, he's the only one who can answer some of this stuff that's going on.
So
I mean, it's just all based on his actions, isn't it? Really, he's gone home, hasn't said a word, and now as soon as they've actually gone to see him and have the warrant, he's now suddenly disappeared.
Yeah, the parents are like,
"It's me."
Oh, he's suddenly missing. We don't know where he is. It's like, come on, dude.
Check
Like,
the
how did
attic.
that
It's not
happen?
looking good.
So, says Laundrie's lawyer says he didn't know where his client was either. Be advised that the whereabouts of Brian are currently unknown. The FBI is currently at the residence removing property to assist in locating Brian. As of now, FBI is looking for both Gabby and Brian. Okay.
Yep.
You don't remove property and evidence looking for somebody. For just somebody that's missing, right? That's not a thing. Like,
well, didn't they take their van too? And they've been
well, that was before they took the van before. Yeah,
that's true. Okay,
but they apparently they didn't find anything, and we didn't expect they would, because we don't. Like I said, my conclusion, and I think yours too, is that it wasn't a premeditated thing where he like took a knife or a gun and killed her. Right, like he knew he was going to do it. So I don't think there's any evidence in the van.
Yeah. I know that we also discussed that there was a link or something, or there was a possible link with that missing couple around the same area in August 13th.
There was
and that's come through now. That's not related at all.
Yeah, well,
Totally coincidence.
Okay, maybe you could speak. Have you heard of the zone of death?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Nope.
Apparently, there's this 40-mile miniature section that borders Wyoming and Utah, right?
Okay.
At Yellowstone. And they call it the zone of death because nobody lives in... How does it? So if let's say a murder happened in this zone, right? There's nobody to call for. There's nobody to call for jury. The way that jury selections are done, because this little section of Yellowstone is owned by Idaho, but nobody lives in this section.
Yeah.
And it's and it's districtly controlled by Utah.
Yeah. Okay.
So so somehow in the course, it's like the theory that nobody could be driven for jury selection, and so if something happened there, you couldn't be tried.
Yeah. They call it, so it's I just looked it up real quick too. So it's about a 50-mile zone of death that, it's even in the articles, they're like, it's a perfect place for murder because there's
in
a
theory,
huge loophole.
They say in theory. It's never been tested in practice.
That we
I
know.
hope nobody tests it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so they also
We're not held responsible for anything
Yeah.
held like.
and they're also talking about a search in that area. Okay,
Dang.
so here's the next thing: is this TikToker claims that she picked up the guy hitchhiking in Grand Teton. The only problem with this is, she says that she and her boyfriend gave him a ride at Grand Teton National Park on August 29th, 4 days after Gabby called her mom to say she was in the park. Okay, so I have a bunch of problems with this. One is a TikToker.
Yeah.
And so the motives for even bringing this up to me is just
Fame,
right? And the second part of this is he had the van. Why is he's hitchhiking? Doesn't make any sense.
That's exactly what
Right.
I thought off the bat too. Is why.
So him hitchhiking makes 0 sense. On 545 on the way to Jackson Hole.
Yep.
That made 0 sense to me because he had the van, he drove the van home. So why would he be hitchhiking alone going to Jackson Hole? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I completely don't have any faith that this is even remotely true. I think it's just a TikToker seeking fame. So
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this highlights a huge problem with why sometimes these cases take so long for the FBI and police to go through, because you have people like this, whether this
You
is
have to
fake,
investigate it.
right? Whether this is fake or not, you have to spend time to take a look and investigate it, which means man hours. Which means if this is all BS, they wasted man hours looking at this because this person wanted fame. Which, if that's the case, I hope they prosecute this person for hindering an investigation.
Yeah, and misinformation as well. It's such a double-edged sword when it comes to how everything is now with the social media aspect. You know, it's great that you can get such a wide net to reach out and hopefully, you know, find a way to, you know, somebody find something, or, you know, and then you have people like this that just use it for clout and be like, oh, just to be popular. But yet you're making things worse by spreading stupid misinformation. And as you say, you know, the police and the FBI like are wasting man hours looking into this because they have to, and it's all a load of BS, and all that time that they've wasted there could have been put into actually real information and real leads that could you know, help. So yeah,
So
it's crazy
hopefully,
how it is.
right? So hopefully this person is telling the truth, but if not, I hope she gets prosecuted.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's always, you know, always give the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, you know, they could be telling the truth, but you know, like it's so, it seems too suspicious. Like the, you know, like, and the timeline doesn't match up. And how did the van get back then if he's there? You know, so there's a lot of.
She had a follow-up visit or a follow-up video to this, or maybe one it was before. But she mentioned, I'm recalling that she mentioned that he offered them like $200 to give him a ride. And it's things were weird. Like the stories behind it are weird.
yeah,
Whether or not
I don't want to go too much
know,
into what she says because I don't believe her. But she talks about he offered money but okay. So this goes to the point of these videos about Gabby. This right here is this lady says she found video of the missing couple's van. So here further pinpoints the timeline, right? And so this family was traveling through the country on their bus, and she was posting she was doing a blog and documenting her clan's adventures. She told the Daily Bee. Okay, so somebody said, "Hey, weren't you in this area around this time?" And she was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Go through all your footage and see if you guys pick something up." So she was going through her footage, and she says, okay, so she said someone who they knew that they had been in Grand Teton in late August suggested she might have seen the couple, and she quickly found the GoPro footage. I had goosebumps, she said, seeing the van with this distinctive sticker on the video. She said the van had been tucked away in the Spread Creek dispersion camping area where the FBI is conducting ground surveys. So
she said that the reason why they remembered this too is because they're from Florida as well. So as they were driving around, they remember coming across this van and seeing that it had Florida license plates. So they wanted to stop and just kind of say hi because, why are you all the way over here on the west? It's kind of a unique thing. So they wanted to say hello and introduce themselves and see whereabouts in Florida they were from. But they said that it was vacant. Like, it looked vacant. It looked like they definitely were not around.
So there's the van right here
or something, but it was. They said it. I think she even says it just felt like it was abandoned at the moment.
Yeah, it's an odd place for the van to be parked.
Yeah.
Well, so this area, if you look, it's more of a what they call a open free camping area, right? Where the area is open to camping and you just kind of park wherever you park, and that's where you camp.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
It's not a set campground, but their particular van here isn't something that needs a lot of space, right? They just pulled over wherever they pulled over, and that's all they're going to need for their camping area. And they pulled forward so they could probably hang out in the back here.
Yeah.
That's my opinion of that. But so this is the thing is somebody has been reading the stories, watching the videos, and say, hey, weren't you in this area? And they were like, oh yeah, wait a minute, let me go through. So they found this video. Well, that puts the van there on August 27th.
Yep. So now they know roughly where they were at on the 27th by the timelines.
Right. So that narrows it down because he returned on September 1st, right?
Yeah.
So he was home in Florida on September 1st. And so we figured that was a
3-day,
2 to 3 to 4 day trip.
And speaking of which, too, Duck, I did go back and I did look at some things. And when they first started their travel, they started in New York, and then it took them 3 days to get to like Colorado or something like that. So it matched exactly what you and I were talking, where I said, oh, this is like a 3 or 4. And you're like, I think you could do it in 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. When they started, it was 3 days. They started from New York and then I think it was Colorado Springs or something like that. And it was 3 days later.
Right. So if we use that, right? If we use that on August 27th, they were here. On September 1st, he was home. That means what? How many days in August? 30?
31st. 31.
31? Okay. So 31 he was traveling. The 30th he was traveling. And then that leaves it on the 29th. Maybe he was traveling, or the 29th, 28th, or 27th. That's the 3 days window that they're going to have to pinpoint in on.
Yep.
And so I was reading another article just a little bit ago that the police and the FBI had cell phone location data. And so they were narrowing in on that. Apparently the police don't have active tracking, but they had like some of the past geo data. But the FBI, if they're involved, they have all that stuff that they can really pinpoint down. So
they can get
FBI involved. I'm sure they've got that.
So now they know to me the 3 day window. They know about the location. And so this is a drastic improvement of information from when they very first started, when Gabby was missing. They didn't really have any idea other than they were on their way to Grand Teton. And then when the police video that we showed you earlier came out, they narrowed it down. Now they're getting even more narrow. Now they got some cell phone data. this is only a matter of time. I'm hoping before they find Gabby. And as far as the dude's concerned, they have better froze his passport. I think he's running. I think he's
I don't
running.
know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he is, but yeah, it's yeah, they need to do something.
I think the information came a lot faster than he thought it was gonna, and now he's panicking, and now he's running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how the parents are still covering for him, like, and so is the lawyer, right? Because the lawyer didn't say, "Hey, the last time I talked to him was now."
Yeah.
The parents are the last time we saw him, right? It's not that. Oh, it's just he's been gone. Yep. I don't know where he is.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
It's cover up for sure, but
yeah, and I have seen some other people posting that they thought they saw him here or here with a backpack and blah blah blah, but like the FBI and the cops are searching this huge wilderness area for him in Florida.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's interesting too because it's come from the community too to help this move along. So it's been a good thing that we all have been helping.
Right. So
yeah, that's what I was saying about, like, the social media aspect of stuff. It's so brilliant in this day and age. Like, you go back, like, I know Crow's gone weird
galactic.
Keeps happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the social media, it's so great nowadays that it's able to make things so much easier when cases like this happen, where people go missing, and it's just making it so much easier for information to be out there. Like, I mean, you go back like 10-15 years, this would be like non-existent, you know what I mean? It would, you would never get this kind of spread of information that helps in such a way. So yeah, and I think obviously that's probably why he's hightailed it out of there, because the information, as you say, has come in so quickly. He's panicked and gone, and he's bailed. So
yeah, he's only been home for 18 days now, so a lot has made it feels like a lot from my perspective. I'm sure as the parents and all that kind of stuff, it probably is not moving fast enough. This is probably taking forever. But from my perspective of being detached from it, man, it feels like every day is something new. There's something coming up, or every other day, guaranteed. Like there's another. Oh wow, they were over here, and oh wow, somebody has seen them, and it's really coming together quickly there, at least in my eyes.
And like I said, like every time I open a new article, like sometimes I catch like a new detail that I hadn't read somewhere else, and I'm like, man, but that's like it's. Like Harcase was saying, with the internet now and social media, there's so much information that can be shared. The danger is like that TikToker, if he's using it for fame, can derail that and force the investigation to slow down, because now they have to investigate this other possibility. Yeah. And so it's kind of a double-edged sword. Is the people that are being helpful are helpful, but the people that, I mean, there's always people that will do things that so
look, see, I'm going galactic again.
We're working on that. We're still trying to figure that out, but
all right, one of these days I'm just going to teleport. We'll all be in the same room.
All right, so
cool.
So any thoughts?
If you know anything, let them know. If you have any contact with the parents, definitely be sympathetic towards them and give them as much encouragement as you can. Sure. That's all I say.
Right. Yeah, if you've got information and you know something, or may feel like you've seen something, bring it up, mention it, say something, but don't do it just because you want a bit of spotlight. Don't do that, because it's not helpful. And just if you've got proper information, go for it. So
and keep sharing the information. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
For sure.
Sharing that, keep 100%. It in people's thoughts. So I have one other thing is his name has been out there now. Everybody knows kind of where he lives. There's been some protest outside his house. Don't go there. Don't
go there.
Do not go there and protest, because this may have been the reason he fled. Yeah. So don't go there. Don't call them. Don't harass them on social media. don't do anything to hinder the investigation or to hinder
Right.
prosecution or to rile them up anymore. Let the police do their job, give the information to the police, but do not harass anybody that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Like whether, because here's the simple fact is whatever we say, right, it's our guess. Maybe he didn't do it. That is a tiny possibility, but it
True.
is a possibility nonetheless. And until he's proven guilty in the court of law, like he has the rights of every other individual, right? So do not harass him because you think he did it or not. Just keep putting the information out. Let the FBI and the cops do their job. And if he's guilty, then he'll get brought to justice. And then we can have another video and I'll say we told him so.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just like, it's like my parents always used to say, you know, never assume anything because you just make an ass out of you and me. So
Exactly.
it's always one of my favorite sayings.
It's true.
All right, with that, we're going to get out of here. We'll try to keep you up to date if some more stuff's moving on. I'm sure there will. So look out for another video. Much love, all.
Until next time. Later.
Peace out, all.